Welcome back to Life is a Fucking Mess. Or sorry, Dwibs doesn't like Life is Messy. There you go. That better, Dwibs? There you go.
Yeah.
Jesus fucking Christ.
Life is
I hate
fun.
Chloe. Like, I just...
I think we're all on that camp now, champ.
I don't know what would kill, if you're in a drinking game, I don't know what would kill me faster. Chloe doing shitty things or Pedro complaining that Chloe's doing shitty things.
I can't sleep. Dramatic.
All the
irony.
Chloe fans neglecting to mention the ableism. I see how it is.
Seriously, Shiro, next time you're, you know, talking to people, I mean, I don't know, I'm guessing you've talked to people who like this game, maybe?
No, I've read things.
Oh, okay. Seriously, I would love to see people try to justify this relationship when it comes to these arguments, because the best I've heard from people is that, by the time we get to the end of it, she shows remorse. Like I've said before, yes, she does by the end of this, but it's too little too late by that point, trust me. Like, it's not gonna be that much of a payoff. You'll see for yourself.
Keep in mind, she shows remorse, yes, but she doesn't really offer much good contribution to the plot either way.
And it's like Pedro pointed out, you have to like let her do whatever the fuck she wants to like be in a relationship with her.
Yeah, basically, Shiroi, there's not even one of. It's not even like in the David Cage game where you can pick the kiss option. No, the kiss only happens at the end if you do pick the correct choices.
Although here's the thing, though. Clearly, this game is focused on these two's relationship because even if you don't get to the point where you can kiss Chloe, or get to the point where you can kiss both Chloe and Warren, yes, that's an option where you can just have, you know, Max be bi. Believe it or not, that does not really affect the outcome of the game overall. Let me put it like this. Whether or not Max is a lesbian, bisexual, or she's straight, let me put it like this. Chloe more or less conditions Max to be obsessed with her, in one way, shape, or form.
Yeah, that's actually a good point that Joa brings up, Shiroi. Believe it or not, Shiroi, you can do a full-blown playthrough where Max kisses both Warren and Chloe on the lips. So, like I said, I guess the idea... Well, you'll see for yourself the context when we get to the Warren.
Although, again, here's the thing. Even if, like, Warren is just the chosen ship, Max will still be practically in love with Chloe because, you know, best friends and all that. Like, let me put it like this, honestly. The kiss just feels like an official seal on it, but in some cases, it still feels like Max is in love with Chloe, even if you aren't picking that option.
Listen.
I must have proved I was worthy again.
Worthy?
How nice. Okay.
What the fuck was that? Worthy?
Goody. Oh, okay, and it begins here. Like I mentioned, it seems like Max is getting conditioned to... I don't want to say worship Chloe just yet, but yeah, no, you may have noticed Max is really hinging heavily on Chloe here and there.
Yeah, seriously.
Was that the line you were referring to, Pedro, off commentary?
No. Not.
Oh, okay.
That's the piss me off line, not the I'm laughing hysterically line. We're gonna get that later. But that's the thing.
All right.
Not only is Chloe horrible, Max is incredibly submissive and way too much of a simp for her. It's revolting.
And the annoying thing is that even if you go with the options that more or less go against Chloe's wishes and whatnot, eventually, it will come to that same plot point where Max really cannot envision life without Chloe for some reason.
Go on, Shiro.
She's a sub and not in the fun way.
Tell me what it's like to get that.
Did you have something you wanted to say, Shiro?
Sorry. Didn't mean to get you all.
No, I just said she's a sub and not in the fun way.
Okay.
Don't think anybody is good enough for you.
Dwebs, what do you think of this whole thing?
Oh my god, that line. I don't think anyone is good enough for you besides me.
Screw you.
That's not possessive at all, Chloe.
Fuck you. Go on.
Yeah, Dwibs, any thoughts?
Not great, is it?
That's putting it mildly. It's not great.
Dwibs sounds uncomfortable.
Dwibs' one sentence review on Life is Strange. It's not great, is it?
Rachel left a bunch of her clothes with me.
Oh my god, I love this line. Rachel left a bunch of clothes. You're her size, like... Okay, now this kind of gives me
Now
the
I'm
thing
gonna
that she's
dress you
trying-
up as Rachel. Oh my god.
You know, if the plot twist is that if the plot twist was that Chloe killed Rachel and is now trying to replace her quote-unquote new best friend with her old best friends who now cosplay as her new...
And let
Here
your
we go.
inner punk rock girl come out. You can afford to take chances whenever and whatever you want to try. For example, I dare you to kiss me.
What?
I double dare you. Kiss me now.
And yes, this is one of the shipping choices. So let's do it.
Damn, you're hardcore, Max. Now I can text Warren.
I
And
didn't
tell him he
expect you to
doesn't
actually
stand a
do
chance.
it.
Unless he's into girl-on-girl action.
You're such a dork.
All right.
Yeah, I mean, there's no way he'd...
Now, here's
There's
the
no
line.
way he'd
That
be...
was priceless when I kissed
There's
you.
no way he'd be in on girl action. No one gets turned on by that. At all.
Hey, in terms of characters that I'm not a huge fan of, Chloe is at least still better than that one from Fairy Fencer. The one that has a
Harley.
weird molestation fetish.
Yeah. All right, Dwebs. Silence. Silence, everyone.
Right.
Looking sick, Max? A couple tats, some piercings, and we'll make a thrasher out of you yet.
Ready for the mosh pit, Shaka Bra.
Go on down and say hi to
What
Joyce.
the fuck
Free
does
breakfast?
that?
I have to.
Okay, now the
Oh,
game's
okay.
calling out its own dialogue.
Please, everybody, help me.
Okay,
What did
okay,
she just
okay.
say?
As
I
much
don't
as
know, Pedro.
As much as I hate to admit it, I get the feeling that that one was actually them specifically making slang so out there that even the script itself calls it
Alright.
out for it. So that was probably intentionally made
reloaded.
like that. Not that that makes it good, mind you.
I reloaded the checkpoint because we have to hear that again.
Looking sick, Max? A couple tats, some piercings, and we'll make a thrasher out of you yet.
Ready for the mosh pit, Shaka Bra.
What?
Yeah, no, never heard
Yeah, no,
this.
that was
back-
deliberate because of
Breakfast?
Chloe's
I
reaction.
have
Like,
to-
the writers
I
did that on
wouldn't be
purpose.
Yeah, because no, definitely never heard that one elsewhere. That one was intentionally just out there. So I wonder if, which makes me wonder, maybe the idea. Well, again, then that goes back to why ever the hell Chloe says hell all the time.
Not just that, Jova. Okay, so let's concede what you
God
just
she's
said, and yes, that was intentionally meant to
wonder
be
when I
cheesy
can
and
see
whatever, blah blah blah, for the sake of Chloe's reaction. Fine, I'm okay with that. But are you telling me that this 18-year-old doesn't know how to say something that's at the very least something people usually say, even if it's like not the best executed? Like, because I have no fucking clue what the fuck that means.
I'm thinking that was Max trying to sound cool like Chloe supposedly does.
It's just like, this is my big problem with this game's dialogue. This game's dialogue makes the characters come across as aliens. You know, I've never. This dialogue just doesn't work. Again, even if these things are said, okay, I'm sure someone out there in the internet will tell me, but Pedro, people actually do talk like this in specific circles. Again, realistic writing doesn't necessarily equal good writing. This kind of dialogue just comes across as cringy and dumb.
That's the
I'm sorry, it's just like-
room.
There's a reason why most teenage movies don't have the characters talk like this, because let's use John Hughes, The Breakfast Club. I don't know if you guys saw Breakfast Club. The reason John Hughes doesn't write his teenagers like that is because he knows that those lines just sound stupid and take you out of the story. You know what I mean? Anyway, here's another thing we can thing here.
David, this is Officer Korn. Just wanted
Officer
to let you know
Korn?
Your stepdaughter's car was identified near the Blackwell campus last night, around the time of the break-ins.
What?
Give me a call soon.
Are you in trouble again, Chloe? Don't you sleep?
Well, fuck. However, we can rewind to before Joyce heard that, and let's erase it.
Message deleted.
And yes,
Wait, who's deleting the message?
I think Chloe has.
and yes, this is another Chloe shipping option.
So wait, so she can hear the first
Rachel,
message,
I
but
mean, Max.
she can't
What was
hear
upset at
the
me?
clear
You
sound of
picked those
message
clothes well.
deleted.
Thank God
Do
you're
not
not
ask
raising
questions,
our
or we will be forced
Tell me
to kill you.
What you want to chow on.
Eggs and bacon.
Eggs and
all
bacon.
The way.
Remember when you guys would sleep in
I
until
prefer
yelled out,
pancakes and
"Wakey, wakey,
bacon,
eggs and bacon"?
I already have pancakes
You wake up
yesterday,
so fast.
as in yesterday in the
This time you can help me
games
with the
cycle.
ingredients.
So
I need
for
you
the
to
sake of
grab me the
variety, let's
actual
have some eggs and
the
bacon.
bacon.
I can handle eggs and bacon. The eggs always come first, as Joyce used to say.
You know, I just realized this outfit looks like Jody's cool
I should've
outfit
already
during the
become a
date
vegan,
chapter,
Bacon.
which I guess is better than her sexy outfit.
Thanks.
Indeed.
After all these years and everything that's happened, it's great to see you and Chloe together again. She hasn't had a good friend since you or Rachel. Oh, those clothes remind me so much of her. Such a sweet girl. I'm just hoping she's living large in LA.
I'd love to think that too, Joyce, but
We are on the same page, Max. I keep hoping that Rachel will show up or even send a message to Chloe from Hollywood. Or wherever she is.
Rachel in trouble.
I hate to even think this, much less say it out loud, but I think Rachel is in serious trouble.
I know. I watch those awful true crime shows, and it makes me ill if I think about Rachel ending up on one. So I don't think too much.
I see why Chloe is so obsessed with finding her.
Max Caulfield, are you actually jealous of Rachel?
Maybe. Rachel was so much cooler than me.
How do you know
You
that?
think? Then why has Chloe been telling
I mean,
you
I know
she
that people
wishes
have been
she could
telling
be
you
more
over the
like
course of the
you
game that
over
she's
the past
cool and
couple
all,
years?
but
Doubt it.
I don't know. Like you shouldn't automatically
really?
believe something is just because
5
people
years
say.
ago feels like 1,000.
Also,
now.
what suggested that
And
she
that
was
makes me what, a
cooler
century
than you,
old?
Max? I know people have
You're
talked
only
about
18,
her
Max.
positive
You-
qualities, but
only
never
I-
so much about her being like
It's
the
not all
cool
that,
kid.
Voila, a breakfast fit for us queens. And a king. Go sit at the table.
All right, let's try to relax, eat some eggs and bacon, enjoy a nice breakfast.
I guess nobody
Without
waters
Chloe.
the plant here.
Ooh.
Thank you so much, Joyce. I'm never leaving this table.
Good, you can clean.
Press A to eat. All right, so now you have to wait till Joyce brings in the photo album. So while you wait, you can check out the stuff that's on the table.
Oh man.
And
Are we
yes,
famous for
people are
this?
still freaking out about that there's going to be an apocalypse because of the weather being shitty.
Again, the fact that there was snow in the middle of a hot summer is concerning.
It's like in Fahrenheit, except I'll give it credit that this game is still less stupid than Fahrenheit, at least. Not that that's a high bar to meet, but
Seeing you again, made me remember so much. I know these photos don't measure up to your work, Max.
My favorite photographers probably take pictures similar to yours. You make David happy, Joyce.
He wants us.
oh, and guess what, guys? Now, guess who shows up to ruin the moment?
David.
Well, not David.
I think I can
Chloe.
You have your
Oh,
own
sure, you're just in time. Now you're about to witness another one of Chloe's moments.
I totally remember.
I want
that
to talk
day.
to my mother.
I'm glad. William took.
We're
this
talking
picture
about
with
you,
his
not
instant
to you.
camera.
Oh, it's interesting you say that, Shiroi. It's actually interesting you say that.
He ever took.
Oh boy.
He had his car out right after this, and
And that's when he died.
I know, Joyce. I'm sorry.
I didn't show you this to be morbid. In fact, I want you to have this. This was when my baby was so full of life and light. She was hopeful, positive, everything she's not today. This was the last time I ever saw Chloe truly happy.
Save it for later, Pedro. Save it for later.
Did you guys have a bonding session about how fucked up I am?
Excuse
It's not always
me?
about you.
Chloe, please. It's too early.
Yeah,
to
what
start
Max
picking a
said.
fight. Eat instead.
Surprisingly.
I'll keep the warden busy while you go peek in the garage.
Now stop whispering, or I'll know you're talking about me.
Stop being so nosy, Mother. Jeez, I can't do anything.
Why would
around
you
here without
whisper
everybody
right
getting
in
up to
front
my
of
shit.
her?
What?
Nobody
I
said
won't even joke with
anything.
you, Chloe. You fly off the handle like that.
Excuse me. I have to use the bathroom.
Sure, run off and pee when you should back me up.
Now who's being paranoid? Listen to yourself.
I don't know if that
Nobody
was
else
Chloe trying to act like that so that it's a good
I
distraction.
do need to get into David's computer.
Either way, though, holy cow, Chloe.
I feel like Chloe was never given, the help she probably needed after her father died.
Nah.
I feel like the family in general, like considering the mother was opening up to Max there, I kind of get the feeling that Chloe just shut herself out, never really wanted to talk about it, and Max, childhood friend and all that, like Chloe's mom feels like she can open up to Max a little bit.
So let's
It's
recap,
like,
guys.
This family needs help,
So let's recap.
including David. This family needs help.
Yeah, what Shira said.
Go ahead.
Let's recap, guys.
No shit,
She
David,
parks in handicapped spots.
How about
She
step
steals from the
two?
handicapped.
Right.
She
I need more
she
clues.
demands attention at all times, complete undivided attention, and also she thinks she's the center of the universe. Like
Obviously, David's parents care about him.
holy fuck.
That date
Are
might
we
be his
supposed to?
password.
Aren't we supposed to like Chloe?
Well, don't you see, Pedro? She had a messed up childhood, her dad died, and she didn't get the help that she needed.
Yeah, and that would be
supposedly.
Yeah. I'm gonna have my
Maybe you
own.
could try
I will
step
address
check with
that
the
point you
password.
just made, Jova, at a later point because it will take too long to do that right now.
Oh, trust me, I know what's coming in that regard too. Like, and you know what? Looking back at this game, I can kind of see what they
Choice
were
might as
trying
well
to
as
do
well
with
let's get
Chloe.
married.
The
Might be a
problem,
useful password.
and I cannot emphasize this enough, is the execution. Which I'm guessing you've gotten a good taste of so far, Shiroi.
I mean, the other stuff, like, she's a fucking bitch for because, like, trauma doesn't make you,
I could try the license number for the
be a
password.
dick.
It does not excuse. Yeah, I'll.
It's a reason, not an excuse.
But this stuff here with the family, it's like, I don't know about execution, because, like, from what you're saying, there's more to this later that might change my view on how they approach this. But for now, it's like, this is a broken
hold on,
family.
Shira, I'm
I'm,
gonna
not
have-
actually
Shira,
mad by any of this.
I'm gonna have to interrupt you, Shira, because this is actually important
All right,
stuff.
Rachel
So,
definitely hooked up with.
okay, so Rachel has been hooked up with
Why
Frank.
does David
But why
care?
does David care about this specifically? We're checking through David's files right now, basically, in case you forgot. So Rachel Amber, 18, was picked up blah, 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 for possession of a controlled substance. This was reported by David Madsen, head of campus security, who witnessed her trying to hide and secure a suspicious medical bag. This officer was called in question to Mrs. Amber, who responded to the point is Rachel was carrying drugs for Frank or some shit like that. All right.
Anyway, Shiroi,
hold
I
on,
do get...
Hold on,
Instead of
Jova.
stalking
Hang
her,
on, let's
David
go
could
for
have
this.
helped her.
So let's see what David has been doing relating to Kate. There you go. Kate M follows the same path to every class. Overheard Kate and Dana W talking about stuff. Watched Kate with her church group. She knows her Bible. Kate stays in bathroom longer than other students. Drugs. Ugh. Saw Kate helping Jefferson after class. Don't trust grown men with goatees. What? Kate has kept to herself since Vortex Club party. Not even church. Drugs. David, just...
Okay,
I
I get...
I love that one. Don't trust grown men with goatees. Like,
Like, what the fuck?
yes, Jova.
I get that these are essentially notes that he's taking on the subject matter here and there. Like, believe it or not, this all does culminate for a reason overall here and there. It's, The reason may surprise you, Shiroi and Libs.
This is so wrong.
Yeah, and he's also been looking at Max's school schedule. Creepy stalker. Okay, becoming into creepy stalker, aren't you,
Better tell
David?
Chloe about this now. It's just one more thing to make her sad and mad.
All right.
Anyway, back to what you were saying, Shiroi. You do have a good point that this is, that bit with Chloe's mother is probably one of the better written bits that does suggest that there's a lot of trauma that's kind of been wrecking at the family unit overall.
Speaking of someone who's actually nicer to me, Taylor, aka one of that groupie of Victoria, thanking me for comforting her about her mom being in surgery. We saw also how much you cared about Kate and she's congratulating me for saving Kate. Thanks, Taylor. I know you care too. If you're going to the party, I'd love to style you up if you want. If I do go, I'd love to get a Taylor makeover. Talk soon. XO Max O.
This is part of why I'm frustrated by Chloe, because Taylor is arguably the whole Chloe thing done better, and she's a side.
Yeah.
She's like a side character in the grand scheme of things.
Can we have Dana as our new best friend? I like her better.
But no, seriously though, when you think about it though, she also starts off mean and abrasive, but we do see hidden depth with her.
I have to take a nap after writing up vandalism reports last night.
What happened?
Some little shit-ass punks broke into the swimming pool. This is what happens at these PC bullshit colleges. Entitled students taking over the campus.
Do you know for
What does
sure
being
what
politically
happened?
correct have to
Who
do
else
with
would
that?
do it? I'm gonna bust 'em.
Shiroi, at this point, I don't think even the writers know what the fuck they're talking about.
Yeah, seriously, he's never complained about political correctness before. Like, where's this coming from?
Costume?
If you're gonna have him be an a-hole, at least have him be a consistent a-hole.
You know more than anybody, like all teenagers.
Leave Max alone, David. Stop threatening
Thank
students.
He
you.
threatens
Jesus.
them with surveillance cameras, so he can spy on everybody. Like he spies on all of us here.
Don't start, Chloe. Not now.
Yeah, I'm just always starting shit, right? You're a total paranoid.
You
Not
are,
now,
but you're
Chloe.
both
You used to
terrible.
call me a loser for getting kicked out of Blackwell. So who's the loser
I
now,
mean,
David?
he's a pretty
Who
okay.
haven't
This
you
family
accused
was
of
already
Between
dealing
your
with
investigations
so
into Rachel
much,
and Kate,
but
what have you done besides get in trouble?
like the mother brought his toxic ass into the mix, and it's just made things so much worse.
Yeah.
So you can choose to side with David or Chloe on this one.
Obviously,
Again.
you have to side with Chloe in order to
You're a
continue
bully,
on the.
David. I saw you harass Kate Marsh when she
God,
was
I
at
don't
Well, I
even-
mean, in this case, David is very much in the wrong right now.
Okay, to be
Everybody
fair,
at Blackwell is a
you don't have to
Except
to
for
side with
Nathan
Chloe all the time. You
Blackwell
can
is
you
actually
can
don't
like
like you.
miss like
Even
one,
me.
maybe two of those
I
judges,
do
but
respect
I haven't
your
actually
service, but
taken a look
you
at
don't
how
respect
many
anybody.
times you can refuse Chloe before we get off the shipping path. So just to be safe, I just picked all of them.
Why do you have photos of
There's
Kate
no
Marsh
actual.
and Rachel
This is
Amber
the
in your
problem I
phone?
also have with games like these. Like, why not have a relationship meter that tells me
Yes,
how
David,
well I
why
am at
do you have
doing
these
at these
files
things?
at
It would make
all?
things
I
so
find this
easier when it
very
comes to
disturbing.
recording these.
I do not have to take this kind of interrogation.
To bring up this particular series again, Persona makes damn well sure you know.
You're turning on
Yeah,
me.
yeah,
Yes.
exactly. That's what I'm saying. And remember, even fucking Time and Eternity had a relationship meter.
Well, screw
Like,
you.
why can't more
Oh my
games do that?
god.
You better go to a hotel until we figure
You
this
make-
out.
Even Animal Crossing kind of has
And
it.
remember, Catherine has one. Remember, Catherine also has the blue and red meter, whether or not you're going for either K Catherine, C Catherine, and now Q Catherine in the new one. It breaks the meter basically if you go
Have a nice
for
day,
Q Catherine.
Chloe. Just
Why
please
can't
shut
a
up.
game like this also have that? It would make things so much easier. All right, to recap, basically, since I sided with, and since I exposed David and told Joyce about the files, Joyce decided to
Yes,
ask
don't be
David to leave the house.
David earned this all.
I'm surprised you didn't show off both. I'm surprised you didn't show off both options.
Honestly, I'm.
I don't think Pedro can take it anymore.
I'm just getting to a point where I just kind of want to get through this.
Honestly, if it were me, I wouldn't even bother with the whole getting Chloe to like you thing, because again, at best, what you get is a kiss. Otherwise, Max is still infatuated with Chloe plot-wise, so honestly, I would take the routes that also call her out, too. Granted, admittedly, it is at this point where both her and David have problems. But, like I said, there is baggage. Like, let me put it like this. there's a reason that a lot of people are more split on David, whereas most people agree that Chloe is pretty terrible. Again, it's not apparent at this point, and you would be well in your rights for considering that David is the worst of the two at this point. But trust me, by the end, you will see why people would probably prefer David over Chloe.
They're both pretty shit, to be honest with you, for different reasons. But they're both pretty shit.
Like I said, they are pretty terrible here at this point. Yeah. However, by the end of this game, I think you'll get a better idea as to why I would side with David over Chloe. Granted, at best, he is the lesser of two evils. And second, this is with me only having the knowledge of the entire story on hand as well.
Unlike to help Jova, unlike Chloe, David will have a more properly well-executed redemption moment by the end, where he fully apologizes and admits all his crap. Chloe is,
and the game is much more. And the game is actually more willing to call David out on his crap than with Chloe. Now, don't get me wrong; they do occasionally call Chloe out on it, but at most, it's more or less just shrugged off. Whereas David here, he at least gets properly punished, kicked out of the house and everything, because Joyce does trust Max's judgment here and there. With Chloe, well, and I know some may say, well, she dies, yeah, but you have to rescue her all those times still.
I'm not even kidding you guys. By the time I got to this point in the story, for like when I'm in my first playthrough, I was going, okay, these two, as in Max and Chloe, these two better have a fucking amazing smutty sex scene. Otherwise, I am so done, because like Jesus Christ, because I'm but like Jova said, it's just a kiss. All this for a kiss, but it's just like one of those things where it's just like, I can't even be entertained on just basic porn level. It's just like, ugh.
Alright, so join us next time where, after being kicked out the house, the security guard decides to take revenge and bash the blast up.
See you, everybody.
See you for later.